It is a Thursday, a little after 7. You are sitting in the driveway with the engine off, keys still in the ignition. The radio is still on, low, playing some song you do not even like, and you are not turning it off. Inside the house, one lamp is on in the living room, and you can see the shape of her moving in the kitchen. There is a chair at the table. There is a plate. There is a dinner she made. And there is a small, wrapped box on the counter. You saw it this morning before you left. She did not say what it is for. She did not have to. It is the third one this month. You put your hands on the wheel, 10 and 2, like you are still driving somewhere. You look at the front door. You look at the box through the window. You do the small math you always do now, and you do not get out of the car yet. Because you know what happens when you walk in. She will be warm. She will hand you the box. She will say something sweet. And whatever was crossed last week, the sharp words, the things she did in front of your friends, the lines she stepped over that you tried to name and got shut down for naming, none of that will come up again. Not tonight, not ever. That is what the box is for. And the worst part is not the box. The worst part is that you already know you are going to say thank you. You are going to smile. You are going to eat the dinner. And you are going to swallow the sentence you were rehearsing on the drive home. Again. And you will not say a word about it. To anybody. Here is the truth nobody says out loud to men our age. Some of the gifts you have been handed by the women in your life were not gifts at all. They were down payments. They were leashes. They were bribes with a bow on them. And you took them because you were raised to say, thank you, keep your head down, and be grateful for anything anyone gives a man. There are 5 of them I am going to walk you through. 5 gifts you should never accept, no matter who she is. No matter how tired you are, no matter how good it looks from the outside. And the 5th one, pay attention to the 5th one, is the one costing you the most. Do not click off and go back to pretending. Give me the next few minutes. This is the conversation nobody had the guts to have with you. I am Vincent Brooks. I am 56. I am not a guru. I do not have letters after my name. I am not going to sell you a morning routine or a supplement or a 7-step system to fix your marriage in a weekend. I just quit playing along a few years back. Quit chasing what they told me to want. Quit accepting deals that cost me my spine. And I started saying the things men my age are not supposed to say out loud, especially about the women we have loved and lost and been quietly owned by. That is the whole resume. By the end of this, you will see the 5 gifts clean, what they look like, how they land, what they take. You will see them in your own life, probably in the last 20 years of it. And you will know the one shift that hands you back your say, starting tonight. The 5th one will sting. That is the one that frees you. Here is what you were handed, whether you wanted it or not. There is a script, and it runs quiet underneath everything. It says a real man is grateful for any help a woman gives him, any gift, any comfort, any rescue. He does not question it. He does not ask what it costs. He does not count the strings, because if he does, he is ungrateful. He is difficult. He is not a real man. That is the script. And the people selling it never stop selling, because a man who cannot say no to a gift is a man who can be owned. A man who can be owned is a man who can be shut up. And a shut-up man builds a life he never actually chose, one thank you at a time. That script is not love. It is not manners. It is not gratitude. It is a leash sold as a favor. And you have been wearing it so long you stopped feeling the collar. And here is the part nobody wants to say out loud. You do not get the years back. There is no later. The summers are a number now, and the number is smaller than you let yourself think. You know it. You do the math at red lights, and you do not tell anybody. If you are 55, you are not planning for the next 40 years. You are planning for maybe 20 good ones if the body cooperates. Maybe 15 where you are really free. And every year you spend accepting a gift that costs you your voice is a year you do not get back. That is not morbid. That is just honest. The clock is not here to scare you. It is here to start you. So the question was never, how do I get more time? You do not get more. Nobody does. The question is, what am I still trading my time and my voice for that does not deserve either? What am I still saying thank you for that is slowly eating me? Once you hear that question, you cannot unhear it. You will hear it every time she hands you the box. Every time he covers the check with a smile that has teeth in it. Every time someone offers you a favor and something in your gut goes quiet. You hit a rough patch. Maybe a contract fell through. Maybe you got hit with a medical bill, or the car finally died, or the job restructured you out. And she offered, just for a few months, just to help. And you took it, because you were tired, and because turning it down felt like some kind of pride you could not afford anymore. It landed like oxygen. You told yourself, this is what people do for each other, and you exhaled. For about 3 weeks. I watched a guy, call him Dave, 52 years old, freelance dried up. His girlfriend covered his rent for a few months. She insisted. He was embarrassed, but he was drowning, so he said yes. At first, it felt like rescue. Then the reminders started. Little at first. I am glad I could help. Then, you know how much I have done for you, right? Then, when she crossed a line and he tried to push back, a comment in front of his kid, a jab about his work, she said it plain. You would be on the street without me. 6 words. That was the leash. Dave stayed 2 more years in a relationship that was hollowing him out, because every time he thought about leaving, that sentence played in his head. The rent she paid became the collar he was wearing, and he was the one holding the leash on his own neck. He paid back every dollar. She never gave back the leverage. Here is the flip. Rescue money is not a gift when it comes with a receipt she keeps in her back pocket. That is a loan she never told you was a loan. A gift with strings is just debt in wrapping paper. And the moment you cannot say no to her without hearing, after everything I have done for you, you are not in a relationship anymore. You are in a debt collection. Real help does not need to be reminded of itself. Real help does not make you smaller. It does not make you afraid. And listen, you are not stupid for taking it. You were starving. You took what looked like food. Nobody ever taught you to check gifts for hooks. You were taught to say thank you. That is it. Seeing it now, at 55 or 58 or whatever number you are carrying, that is the win. Not weakness. The win. That is the first one, cash, the obvious one. The next one wears nicer clothes and men fall for it harder. Watch. You met someone, and within a few weeks, a couple months tops, she gave you something big. Not dinner, not a shirt, something with a number on it. A watch, a trip, a piece of debt cleared. Maybe it was a car. And you felt something you had not felt in a long time. You felt seen, chosen, believed in. You told yourself, finally, someone gets me. And you did not ask the question sitting quietly at the back of your throat. You knew not to ask it. Ray, 49, met a woman online. 6 weeks in, she bought him a high-end watch, one he had looked at online and never let himself buy. Then she paid off a lingering credit card debt, said she believed in his potential. Nobody had ever invested in Ray like that. His chest swelled. His guard went to sleep. 6 months in, the disagreements started, small ones, and every one of them ended the same way. After everything I have done for you, I am the only one who ever helped you like that. When he tried to slow things down, asked for space, asked for less intensity, she called him ungrateful. She called him cold. She reminded him what the watch cost. Ray finally realized those gifts were not for his future. They were a down payment, not on love, on obedience. He walked eventually, still paying off the interest on a different kind of debt, the 2 years he spent belonging to somebody who bought him a watch. The summers are a number, smaller than you think. Big gifts early are down payments on control, not love. They are a test drive of ownership. Real love builds slow, and it does not need to prove itself with price tags in the first 90 days. When somebody wants to invest in you before they even know you, they are not investing in you. They are staking a claim. And the second you hesitate, the receipt comes out. So here is the line. If a gift feels too big, too fast, too early, it is. Trust that gut. It knows something your gratitude does not. You were not dumb to feel flattered. You were starved. Nobody had bet on you in years, not your job, not your ex, not your own father. Of course, a big bet felt like love. It looked exactly like love. It just was not. Seeing that now is the whole point. Not the receipt, the seeing. That was one you might have dodged. The next one, the third one, is the one most married men my age have already accepted, multiple times. There was a fight, a real one. Or maybe not a fight, maybe she said something in front of your friends or your kid or your mother that cut. Something she should have owned. And 2 days later, 3 days later, there is flowers on the counter. Or a weekend booked, or a shirt she saw you look at. And she hands it to you with a soft look, and she says, "Let me make it up to you." And you take it, because what else are you going to do? Refuse peace? Marcus, 55, married 20 years. His wife had a habit. After every blow-up, every disrespect, every time she went too far, she would show up 2 days later with a gift. Flowers, a weekend away, dinner somewhere expensive. And Marcus, being a decent man raised to keep the peace, would take it. He would smile. He would say thank you. He would let the fight go. Never talked about what happened. Never got an actual apology. Just the gift and the reset and the next round of quiet. He did this for a decade. One night, I remember him telling me this over a beer, he realized he could not name a single time in 10 years that she had said the words, "I was wrong." Not once. She had just learned that a peace offering worked on him, that his silence had a price tag. And she paid it, over and over, and he pocketed it, over and over. And every time he did, a small piece of his voice left the marriage and did not come back. A gift is not an apology. It never was. An apology has words in it. It has ownership. It has, "I did this thing and I am sorry I did it." A gift without those words is a bribe. It is her buying your silence at a discount. And if you take it, you are teaching her, and you are teaching yourself, that your hurt has a price, and it is whatever is in the box. If gifts keep replacing conversations, your voice got traded for stuff. Refuse the trade. You did not take those gifts because you are weak. You took them because you were raised to believe that a good husband does not make things worse. You were trying to protect the marriage. You were doing what you were told. Now you see it. Now you stop. That is the whole move. That is the third. And I know some of you just felt something in your chest. Good. Hold it. Because number 4 is where a lot of men my age are quietly, right now, stuck. Do not click off and go back to pretending. You lost something, a job, a house in a divorce, a stretch of health. Something knocked you flat, and she opened her door. Stay with me until you are back on your feet. It sounded like salvation. No rent, somebody in your corner, meals, a bed that was not a rental. You told yourself it was temporary. You told yourself you would be back on your feet in 6 months. And now it has been 3 years. And you cannot remember the last decision you made without checking with her first. Tom, 51, got laid off, and a woman he had been seeing casually offered him a landing spot, just until you get sorted. Tom sold his own place, thought he was being practical, save some money, regroup. Months turned into a year. A year turned into 3. And every time Tom tried to make a real move, a new city, a career shift, even a weekend trip alone, he ran into her preferences, her mood, her subtle threat to pull the housing. Not a threat you could point to, just a shift in the air. The clock is running while you stay. Tom woke up one morning at 54 and tried to name one choice in 3 years that had been fully his. Could not. Not one. When he finally left, he was starting over from zero. No house, no job, no plan. But he told me later the gift of a roof had turned his life into something he was living on her terms. She never had to lock the door. He locked himself in. Here is the flip, and it is a hard one. When where you live belongs to somebody else's mood, you do not have a home. You have a cage. Housing is not a favor. It is the foundation of your ability to say no. It is the ground under your feet when you need to walk. And the moment you cannot walk out, because you have nowhere to walk to, because leaving means starting from zero, you do not have a partner anymore. You have a landlord. And she knows it, even if she never says it. You did not move in because you were lazy. You moved in because you were hurt, and she offered, and you were tired of carrying it alone. That is not a character flaw. That is being human at 51. Seeing what it became, that is the man you are now, waking up. That is 4, and I promised you that the 5th one costs the most. I meant it. This is the one that does not leave a paper trail. This is the one you will fight me on. You used to have a code, a morning, a run, a rule about how much you drank, a discipline, something that was yours before she showed up. And she loved you. She wanted you comfortable. She wanted you happy. She started teasing you gently about how uptight you were, ordering in on nights you would have cooked, pouring another glass when you would have said no, talking you out of the gym, talking you out of the plan. And you let her, because she loved you, and it felt good to rest. Leo, 56, disciplined guy his whole life. Gym at 6, strict budget, did not drink much. Then he met Carla. And Carla loved to spoil him. Rich meals, bottles of wine on a Tuesday. She would laugh when he tried to stick to his routine, call him rigid, call him boring. Slowly, month by month, Leo let it slide. He stopped training. He stopped tracking his money. He gained 30 pounds. His sleep went to hell. His energy tanked. He told himself he was finally relaxing. 2 years in, he looked in the mirror one morning and did not recognize the man in it. Tired eyes, softer body. A guy who reacted to his day instead of running it. The relationship ended. She left, actually, said he had let himself go, but the habits stayed. It took Leo 18 months to rebuild what he had handed her the keys to. And when he did, he told me the most dangerous gift she ever gave him was not the wine. It was not the meals. It was permission to abandon himself. This is the 5th one, And it cost the most because there is no receipt, no rent she paid, no watch you can hand back. What she took quietly. Your discipline, your code, the morning you had before her, the version of you that was building something. Anything that kills your discipline is not comfort. It is erosion. Slow, warm, delicious erosion. And when it is done, you will not just have lost the relationship, you will have lost the man who existed before it. And you were not weak for letting your guard down. You were exhausted. You had been running your own show for decades, the job, the kids, the mortgage, the workouts, all of it alone. Somebody finally said, "Rest," and you thought that meant safety. It did not. Rest is a night. Erosion is a life. You know the difference now. Nobody can unteach you that. That is 5. That is the list. And now we talk about what to do with all of it. So, 5 gifts. Rescue money that turns into a leash. The big early gift that is really a down payment on you. The sorry gift that replaces the apology. The roof that becomes a cage. The comfort that steals your edge. 5 different wrappings. One rule underneath all of them. Any gift that makes you afraid to say no is not a gift. It is a purchase. That is the whole philosophy. Every one of these fails the same test. Can you still walk after? Can you still speak after? Can your no still work after? If the honest answer is no, it was not a gift. It was a transaction, and you were the merchandise. And I know what some of you are thinking. What am I supposed to do? Refuse every kindness? Live paranoid? Turn every generous woman into a suspect? No. You are supposed to do one thing. Before you accept anything big, money, housing, a car, a lifestyle, a whole different pace of life, you ask yourself one honest question. Will this make it harder for me to say no to her later? If the answer is yes, you decline. Warmly, gratefully, but you decline. That is not rejecting her, that is protecting the man she claims to love. Because a man who cannot say no is not a man, he is a pet. And that script, the one that said a real man is grateful for any help a woman gives him, no matter the terms, that script was never built to make you happy. It was built to keep you quiet. It was built to make sure the men in your life took whatever was handed to them and shut up about the cost. And you ran it clean for 30 years. You said thank you. You ate the dinner. You wore the watch. You slept in the bed she bought. And you swallowed every sentence you wanted to say. The script worked exactly as designed, on you, on me, on every man watching this. And the second you name it, it stops working. Today, in this room, right now. Now let me be straight with you, because I owe you that. I am not telling you all women are running a con. Most are not. Most of the women in your life probably gave you gifts because they loved you and wanted to make your life easier, and that was the whole of it. I am not telling you to walk into your marriage tonight and hand back the anniversary gift and give a speech. I would be lying if I told you every gift is a trap. That is not the point. The point is, you were never taught to check. You were taught to accept. And there is a difference between a man who checks and a man who is suspicious of everyone. Check. Do not accuse. Check. Here is what I want you to walk out of here with. You do not get the years back. You get the rest of them. Whatever that number is, 20, 15, 10 good ones, they are yours, not hers. Not the scripts, not the bosses. Yours. And you do not spend them saying thank you for gifts that cost you yourself. Not anymore. The question is not, how do I get more time? It is, what am I still trading it for that does not deserve it? You are right on time. The clock is telling you to start. Hear me before you go. You are not failing. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not a fool for accepting the gifts. You are not weak for staying too long in a house that was not yours, a marriage that ran on peace offerings, a relationship where somebody bought you a watch you are still paying for in your chest. You woke up. Most men your age never do. They die still saying thank you to a script that owned them. You just saw it. That heaviness you have been carrying since I started talking, that was the collar coming off. Not weak, not behind, not done. You are right on time. And the clock that scares you is the same clock telling you to start. Today, not someday. Tell me below which one of these 5 hit you the hardest. Number 1, the money. Number 2, the big early gift, the sorry gift, the roof. Number 5, the comfort that stole your edge. Say it plain, no speech, just the number and the one sentence you have never said out loud about it. Your honesty in that comment box might be the thing that frees another man scrolling past this video tonight. I am not going to beg you to subscribe. If any of this was real for you, you already know whether you want to walk this road with me. Your call. Next time, I will walk you through the handful of people you may need to quietly step back from before 60. Yeah, sometimes even ones you are related to. And how to do it without turning into a bitter old man about it. Boundaries, not war. That one is coming. Between now and then, decline one gift this week. Just one. The one you know had strings on it. Say thank you. Say no more. The script can run without you for a day. I will be right